Kylie Jenner, climate criminal.
Criminal with a K.
Criminal with a K. So here we are. It says Kylie Jenner called climate criminal after 17-minute private jet flight. This is very Hollywood.
How dare you? How absolutely dare you?
Dare you? That's what it is. I should have pulled that meme up. It says Kylie Jenner is facing major backlash from social media users boasting about her and her boyfriend Travis Scott's private jets and using hers to take short flights. This is apparently something that goes
not just
back.
Like a short flight. It's like, why did you even get on the plane? It took you longer to drive to the airport and get on the plane.
See, but I love it. I love it because she doesn't care and she's not apologizing and she's not like. I looked for articles of her like talking about climate change. I didn't find any in a cursory research.
Never said that
the Kardashians are surprisingly not the preachy types.
So as long as she's not telling me that I have to live a certain way, if she wants to take a private jet 5 minutes away, I don't care.
However,
that is her business.
The rest of the celebrities who, as we know, are constantly preaching about climate change, they do the same shit.
This is different than Leonardo DiCaprio telling me that I can't.
They just hide it.
This is different than Leonardo DiCaprio telling me that I have to limit my red meat consumption and not drive too far because of climate change when he is the one who preaches climate change constantly.
Even Greta Thunberg herself does things like that, like doesn't practice what she preaches.
I think that Kylie Jenner manufactures scandals every once in a while. Like, it's been kind of quiet for her. She let, Courtney got married and there's some health issues, and then Khloe's turns out she's having a baby with the guy who always cheats on her via surrogate.
The Khloe thing right now is crazy because he's in Mykonos cheating on her in public. Yeah.
Well, I don't think they're together. They just had a crazy relationship, decided to have a baby.
Their baby's on the way.
Yeah. But it's too late. They can't undo that. I think part of it is someone they all got together and Kris Jenner, the mom, was like, Kylie, we need you to have a light scandal. Nothing too heavy, but we need to take some heat off your sisters. Mm-hmm. And she was like, okay, I'll just ride my plane for less than 20 minutes.
They're evil geniuses.
It's not so abhorrent that people are going to freak out, but it's also enough to stay in the headlines for 24, 48 hours and distract from whatever else is going on with the Kardashian brand. I honestly, I know that sounds deeply paranoid, but I just think everything they do is manufactured and staged.
So social media users subsequently slammed Jenner across Twitter and Instagram for being a full-time climate criminal, not a part-time. She is not an hourly salaried climate criminal. She is a salaried.
Also, she's not like you said, she's never been I believe in the environment.
Yes. Can't wait to see Kylie Jenner post environmental awareness pics on her stories as if she isn't single-handedly doing more to damage the environment than most of us with her 3-minute flights.
But has she ever
done that? Somebody will have to point that out to me. Another added, every time a paper straw begins to dissolve in my drink, I think about how Kylie Jenner uses a private jet for 3-minute flights, and I get mind-numbingly angry.
Not to get too political, but that is, I hope, telling some people, regardless of whether or not this is a manufactured scandal, I hope it's telling some people that the whole point of a lot of the climate activism is to hoard resources and luxuries, both necessities and luxuries, to the elite people who want to have them, and they want to lower the quality of life for everyone else.
One Instagram user went to Jenner's comment section to ask, whose plane should we use to pollute the earth today? Dude, I think Shane Cashman is right that COVID lockdowns broke everyone's brains. 20 years of like I said, they need to stop calling it climate change. We need a throwback episode where they start calling it global warming again, and I will be very happy.
It needs a rebrand.
And we call them tree huggers.
Yes.
You know who we can put on this? The
Tree
Kardashians.
huggers.
Let's go. A third wrote, why do I have to limit my meat consumption and use paper straws while the 1% get to pump tons of carbon into the atmosphere for a day trip to the Palm Springs? This is never going to stop, which is why you need to stop thinking that the government is going to fix this problem.
And it's
because this will never go away.
Or celebrities. Because a celebrity not going on a private jet isn't going to solve all of the global problems we have.
And you can't have government elites. Government elites aren't going to regulate celebrities using private planes, because then they would have to regulate their own private planes. It's much easier to regulate people who are distantly removed from you, who don't have access to these resources anyway.
And then some poor person who's very uninitiated says, but what about climate change? Like, as if Kylie Jenner gets
Like
in
their
her
world is shattered.
as if
right
Kylie
now.
Jenner gets in front of her plane and goes, well, I mean, it is going to damage the environment and those CO2 emissions are bad, but I need some ice cream from Palm Springs, and it's too long of a drive.
But I stand by her makeup line, whatever other various companies produce, none of them have a like we're green element, right? I think one of Kim's has some like, oh, we use recycled shipping materials or something, but I don't think Kylie has ever claimed to be interested in protecting the earth.
And then some people defend them here, which I think is funny because they defend them for like, it's like they're too famous to fly. They're like we're like tacitly
They're too famous to drive in a car.
We're not defending them. We're kind of telling the other people that they're being dumb. But it says no way that Kylie Jenner and Kendall Jenner are taking first class flights. One fan wrote, these B words are beyond famous. They would get mobbed. If you could afford a private jet, you would too. They're right.
They ride in cars all the time.
Yeah, well, this is
That's
the thing.
ridiculous.
A 17-minute flight means you went like maybe to the next county. Like you're not even going a significant distance. You could have driven there in a private car with the air conditioning going on full blast. Like this is really kind of for the spectacle of it.
I kind of like the idea of them leaning into like really destroying the environment. Like they just start like
No, we're just doing it for the fun of
they
it,
buy
yeah.
gas. They buy purposely like what's the worst like gas guzzling car? What's the worst car for their environment? They only buy those, and they
just leave the faucet running and leave the house.
Well, hey, just yesterday we talked
Yeah.
about how what was it Chloe's?
It was
Courtney's water consumption is
yeah.
far too high. So clearly the Jenners are out for some type of environmental genocide that they are leading, and we are just watching it happen.
They do not have to care about the environment. That was never part of their brand. I don't know what
They're
to
not
tell
Gwyneth
you.
Paltrow.
Carrie?
And even she said you need to find the balance between tofu and cigarettes.
My favorite was this first comment, which is it says the far more appropriate outrage here is to ask ourselves how society got to a point where people like Kylie Jenner have so much wealth that they can afford a private jet to avoid sitting in traffic for 45 minutes.
Because you bought their freaking lip kit and watched their reality TV show. You did this to us.
I don't know if
They're
Steve
like
Myers
openly
Kind of
like sweatshop using people, like wasteful people, very opulent in their appearances, like other than that they like have like bare bones houses. Just because they don't have like furniture in their homes doesn't mean that they're not wasteful.
I also like that there's like literally whole Twitter accounts and websites dedicated to tracking the flights of the private jets of like famous people. That's why they have this money.
Didn't that one kid who like tracked Elon Musk's plane got offered like a bunch of money to take it down, but also a job?
Yep. So it says, full-time climate criminal, these planes should never be allowed to take off. So never forget that these people are authoritarians.
So
at
how
heart.
is this public information?
Private, I don't know.
If it's a private flight.
They probably know the name of the numbers for her plane, and then they were able to see, oh, this plane logged a 17-minute flight.
Still has to be filed with the FAA, which would still make it like comparable, like a product of a FOIA request, maybe? I don't know.
And also, I don't understand how they know the exact duration of her flight.
So Kylie Jenner, her carbon footprint is repulsive. So no carbon feet pics from Kylie Jenner is what they're saying.
It's the carbon footprint.
How long
of
have you
all
been
of the
waiting with that
people-
joke?
No,
The people that consume her products and then don't use them and throw them in the trash.
Yeah. Well, this article is from 2020, so this is not new.
Okay, it looks like there's a Twitter account called Celebrity Jets, and it logged that Kylie Jenner's jet landed in Camarillo, California, after approximately 12 minutes of flying, and this post went up on July 15th, 2022.
Yeah.
So it looks like they can do it based on the fact that they know her. The plane is registered to her, but also they know the plane's tag numbers.
Okay.
So beyond this, she tried to do. You know how like Kim is really good at like shifting the narrative in the direction she wants it to go whenever bad news comes up. Remember,
Yes,
she's like,
I 100% believe she is in control of her PR.
go work go work, ladies. And they're like, you can't say go work, ladies. And then she's like, oh, look, I'm dating Pete Davidson. This is like her version of this. It says Kylie Jenner's TikTok of Target trip amid private jet rage divides fans. So she's not quite as seasoned as Kim is.
Wait, what was coordinated about Kim's thing?
Oh, the idea was just that she was getting a lot of backlash for...
they were like, because people responded, do you remember this? Like, who had worked for her being like, I couldn't afford to live in the city where we were working. Like,
so you think that she just distracted from that by
that's what they do.
outing her relationship?
Yeah. I think that, like, I mean, I stand by. I think the jet thing, I honestly believe Kylie Jenner timed the jet thing to be a slight scandal to distract from whatever's going on with Khloe, who she has, as far as I know, that's one of the sisters she's closer to.
Ride your private jets, ladies. I don't care if it annoys these people because
if Kim is that strategic anyway, then why did she make such a comment?
It was in a video
when
interview.
she was getting, there was some backlash at the time about how she was handling the divorce from Kanye. I think they were like holding her up, and I think they know that they have to keep themselves slightly, like, you can't only get good press, you need some bad press too. So I thought at the time that she made this like get your ass up and work comment to kind of make her look bad, and then she came out with Pete Davidson, which made her look good again. Like, they know it's a yo-yo. To keep people interested, you can't make everyone happy all the time.
Okay.
So she says she asked
but I like am deep in this conspiracy theory, so it's fine if you don't buy into it.
So they're basically in this, they're talking about she took the kids to Target, and their people are mad because they said that she's playing a normal life simulator. Maybe she should be in The Sims.
She's their new spokesperson.
I wonder what she bought at Target.
Well, she bought lots of toys for the kids. That's what they talk about here. They says, later on Monday night, Jenner posted the adorable 14-second video titled Surprise Target Trip with My Girls, which showed her pushing a cart filled with children into Target. She asked the kids if they want any bowls, panning to the camera at pots and vases, or vases, if you're fancy. Okay. Thank you. Which she receives a resounding no from the kids. The camera then cuts to Stormy looking at the toy section before we see a number of toys in the checkout. So she bought the kids toys.
Did she ever announce, like, that's the thing, if this scandal doesn't blow over, did she ever announce the name of her son? Remember she named him Wolf and then was like, just kidding, that's not his name. Did she ever say what his name really is?
That was a huge thing for a while.
Like, that one will just come back up.
I don't know why people were so concerned.
I'm just kind of curious because they all have weird names, but I'm not going to, like, die if I never know.
Yeah, they keep saying that she's playing normal life simulator, so she kind of got a little backlash. She's not quite as good at Kim at redirecting the negative energy from people. Tries to be normal after the jet post, but buys $300 worth of toys. I love how much these people both are simultaneously like obsessed with the opulence of the lives of these people, but then hate it because they remember that they also don't want anybody to be happy because for the greater good.
It's like, do you want the celebrities to live below their means or not?
Yep.
And
do you think it's dishonest if they do?
I remember when Obama was in office, or maybe just after he had left office, there was Michelle Obama did some interview and then she's like, oh, we're just gonna go on a Target run, and it was like to make her look normal, and she's like, oh yeah, that's cute, I'm gonna get some stuff, whatever. But like, if you're a reasonable person, you have to realize that is completely staged. Like, Kylie Jenner didn't just go to Target, her security detail is with her, right? Like, this is just not something that you can do when you're that famous. If you don't think they can ride first class on an airplane, there is no way that they can just like, I'm going to go to Target with a bunch of children where people roam around and will recognize me. Yep. The Michelle Obama one, like, it was to make her look normal, but it was like, of course, the Secret Service has completely swept this Target before she went in.
Yep.
I think that trying to redeem yourself by looking normal after contrasting it with your private jet, like, you just need to stay in one lane because ultimately you come off looking more superficial.
One fan took issue with the fact that Jenner was posting about riding in private jets amid soaring inflation in many countries. Meanwhile, I'm trying to fill up my gas tank. It's just, I love it.
Do you think that this recession is going to make people feel very resentful of celebrities?
No, I think most of them are too far gone. I think most of these people don't realize it.
I don't know.
With
I
celebrity
think there
worship
are people,
or the celebrities themselves?
I think the celebrity worship is too ingrained in most of these people.
I think there are people who feel entitled to other people's wealth. You know what I mean? And they will feel like, well, why would you rent a spend however much money on a private jet when you could have paid for gas for a family of 5 for
Could have paid
the
my
whole
college
year.
tuition.
Right.
It's like when they're
It's like because she doesn't have to pay your college tuition or for your gas tank. She could do those things.
And if
Those
she
are
did that
nice.
for everyone, then she would not be able to do it for anyone.
Jeff Bezos could be Batman, but instead he's just like being Jeff
Bezos could afford to give everyone $1 million.
Because that's how much. That's how it works. He
how
actually has
numbers
he
work.
actually has billions of dollars in a bank account that has like they have to actually make the screen bigger or the text smaller to fit all the zeros. It's not assets. It's not other things. It's just cash.
Also, he went to the villain convention and he was like, "Guys, I think I've had a change of heart. Like, I'm gonna
Exactly.
give out the money." And they're like, "No. This
Wasn't
is
that like literally a thing in Despicable Me? Like some kind of villain?
I don't know. I've
like-
never seen it.
All right. There was one super chat there, and then I think we'll get into Podluck.
Okay, unavailable ID name said, your sim lives a full life in a matter of days, and it has a baby bottle and then champagne popping and a skull and bones.
No, I think that's
That's
true.
life. That's life.
I almost in a fit of nostalgic in a haze the other night. Do you remember Tamagotchis?
Yeah.
Well, they made these things called nano fighters, which were sumo wrestlers that you could connect and fight one another
Oh, okay.
on a keychain. It was like a guy's version of a Tamagotchi, but I just didn't want to spend.
Wow, guys, that's so gendered.
That
Sims
is
4
that
is gonna
is-
come for you.
That is very gendered language on my behalf. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.